Welcome back to NBA Today, presented by Homes.com.
How nervous are you?
I'm excited. The Knicks fans are ready. Yeah, there's a little bit of nervous excitement, as all Knicks fans have, but I'm confident.
Underdog, favorite in my heart. Let's go.
Brunson, back to Anunoby. Great give and go.
You get your stops, push it up the floor. Punch.
Blocked by McBride.
Hart. Arriba, levanta la bola, saca la falta, acción de 2 and 1.
For the first time in 2.5 decades, the New York Knicks are going to a conference final.
Just soaking up this moment, and I can't wait for the next round.
So many years. Indiana, we coming.
Go New York, go New York, go! Go New York, go New York, go!
I don't know why, but the pure joy of Timothée Chalamet, it definitely does not get old to see. It's the Mecca, Madison Square Garden, the world's most famous arena, and it's lived up to the hype this postseason. Shanae and Brian, you were in the building for that clinching Game 6. Perk and I wished we were there because there's nothing like that environment. There's nothing like that atmosphere. Shanae, do you think, though, it's like a true advantage? Do you think that it changes things for the opponents coming in?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
My voice is just now starting to recover, and I'm not a New Yorker. I was saying that I finally understand why you go to the airport and you see the T-shirts, I love New York. It's for moments like that. It's definitely going to be one of those situations where were you when the Knicks won in 6 in 2025 to advance to the Eastern Conference Finals? The energy was palpable. The basketball IQ of this fan base is through the roof, and they embody this squad, the city, the grit, the grind, the hustle. They're all really relatable. This is a place where dreams are made, and we're seeing it happen in real time. Jalen Brunson, clutch player of the year. Cat, I felt like the Knicks were going to win with how they started being intentional, with Cat being aggressive. Josh Hart, Mr. Bleeding, his face, it doesn't matter. Had a triple-double. Mikal Bridges making plays. This city is built different, and so is this squad, and I've never experienced anything like being in the Garden for that moment. Yes, it's truly special.
Yeah, there was a remarkable alignment there, Malika, because it was a moment where the crowd has never been more involved in the game, and the Knicks had never played better. That was far and away their best performance of the year when the crowd wanted it and was giving the most. So those are special moments that you remember. But it is important to point out they have lost 3 times at home this year, and the Pacers came in and beat the Cavs on the road in Game 1 last round. So none of that carries over. The energy maybe from the crowd, but they don't get to take those points over. And I'm sure Tom Thibodeau is making that clear to them heading into
Wednesday. They can
Wednesday.
get 48 hours,
Janae, Brian, Jalen Brunson actually kind of agrees with Brian. He spoke earlier on the MSG crowd. Take a listen.
I think it was very important and great for the fans to have our backs and celebrate the way they did. But for us, we know there's a long way to go. And so we don't really look at it as an accomplishment. It's just the next step. We're grateful, we're thankful, but we know there's a long way to go.
See, that kind of sounds like what Brian was saying, but both home courts, they're going to be a factor in this Eastern Conference Finals. Let's go in the bonus. This will be a rematch of the conference semis last year when the Pacers walked into Madison Square Garden and won Game 7. The Knicks will be looking to avenge that heartbreak from that game this time around, but both teams, they're a little different than last year. The Knicks have Karl Anthony Towns. The Pacers have a healthy Benedict Mathurin. The Knicks won 2 of the 3 meetings this season, and Cat averaged 30 points a game in the matchup. Also, Mikal Bridges as well. And it's a series that'll be nostalgic. These two teams, they haven't played each other in the conference finals since 2000. But flash to now, our resident detective, Big Perk, I hear he spies 2 players that need to step up if they want to get to the finals.
I'm Kendrick Perkins, better known as Big Perk, and nothing gets past me.
Freeze!
Just when you thought it did get past me, there I am. I spy a problem. I spy it all. Carry the hell on. I'm looking forward to this series, and I know everybody is watching to see, is it going to be Tyrese Halliburton? Is it going to be Big Body Brunson? But I'm looking at the two bigs. That's what I'm looking at. That's what these two eyes are watching in this series. And I'm talking about Karl Anthony Towns versus Miles Turner, damn it. We're talking about two of the most elite bigs in the game. When you look at Karl Anthony Towns, when he's locked in and focused, one could argue, outside of Jokic, he's the most skilled big in the game. Miles Turner has been the unsung hero this entire postseason for the Pacers. That feathery touch around the basket, being able to stretch the floor and knock down shots. He's leading the entire postseason in blocks. This is mano a mano right here. Those two are going to be guarding one another. It's going to be interesting to see how Karl Anthony Towns come into this playoff series, and is he going to impose his will on Miles Turner in that low paint area?
Both really good shooting bigs to keep an eye on. Now to the team that the Knicks knocked out. After Game 6, sources told ESPN that reigning Finals MVP Jaylen Brown finished the season with a partially torn right meniscus. Now, Brown had been playing in pain during the last month of the regular season and the playoffs. Here was President of Basketball Operations Brad Stevens on what lies ahead.
The reality is like I said, we have a lot of good players. We're in a unique situation. They're all under contract. And obviously, as you pointed out, there are, several basketball penalties that will come with that amount of salary. And so we just have to weigh it all and make those decisions. And again, I'll have more clarity after we meet and talk and go through it.
Well, Brad Stevens sounds like he knows the reality of the new CBA. Look at this. The Celtics head into next season with a bill of $466 million when you account for salaries and luxury tax payments as well. Boston has the highest payroll next season, and they're $22 million over the second apron. So, Brian, what do you expect them to do, especially given that Jason Tatum could be out for the majority, if not the entire season next year?
Well, that bill doesn't include Al Horford. So, I don't know if you can negotiate him back for less salary, but he certainly had a very good year. If you re-sign him for the same exact number, it's over $500 million, and that's where we've been getting that number. He did have some good news in that Jaylen Brown's meniscus injury, he kind of implied that they're going to just watch it and give it rest. He didn't imply that he might need surgery. So that was a good sign there, because if that needs to happen, then you have a whole nother situation. The reality is this. They have a new ownership. The new ownership has not taken over yet. They have not completed the sale. Therefore, they cannot show us their plans or communicate their plans. So, no matter what happens, Brad Stevens, to a certain extent, is in a holding pattern. And until we find out what those new owners want to do and what their appetite is for spending, we're all just speculating and making projections. I do think that there is some sense that the Celtics could reduce their payroll a little bit and sort of take a half step back, let Jason Tatum heal, and then ramp back up, a so-called gap year. But that is something that is complicated, and we're not going to know for a while.
Yeah, we saw the Warriors pretty perfectly execute that gap year. You can debate the pick and all of that sort of thing, but they were able to get back to winning another championship after they had to spend time without Steph Curry, without Klay Thompson. Can the Celtics replicate that here? That's a question that they're going to have to ask themselves in the offseason. Brian, thank you so very much. But the future, it's right now for SGA versus Anthony Edwards. You guys, it's going to be an instant classic, but which star will